Shalom, family. Coming back with another video out of the 7th chapter of Ecclesiastes. We're doing a tour of Ecclesiastes. Let us start with prayer. Creator, speak by your spirit. Unlock our minds. Speak, Yahweh, and let us follow the example of Yahweh Shai and do that which is pleasing unto thee. We close this prayer giving honor and glory to you. Amen. Coming out of chapter 7 of Ecclesiastes, and it reads as follows. A good name is better than precious ointment, and the day of death than the day of one's birth. Better to go to the house of mourning than to the house of feasting, for that is the end of all men, and the living will take it to heart. Sorrow is better than laughter. You see, King Solomon was soul searching. He was trying to find the real meaning of life. What is all of this about? What makes life worth living? Creator, why am I even here? And so he realized that when you're born on this earth, even though Yahweh has sent you here with a purpose, you're with the people who are currently ruling over us, and the world has been given into the hands of the wicked. You're being born into hell itself. So when you get ready to get out of this place, you're going to where the Creator resides. So it's better to, in fact, Solomon said in the earlier scriptures, it's better to not even have been born at all than to come into this place, because we see the condition that this world is in. And the way these people are living, and the perversion and the sin that's being pushed on you, if you are those who are righteous, it grieves your spirit. So I'm coming out of verse 3. Sorrow is better than laughter, for by a sad countenance the heart is made better. The heart of the wise is in the house of mourning. You see, when you are grieved in your spirit, what Solomon is saying, when you're grieved in your spirit about what we're set down in, and seeing how the people of this world just live their lives without any conscience or worry about Yahweh, to those of us who are privileged to know about Yahweh, it grieves our spirit. So it is with the righteous. This world grieves our spirit. The heart of the wise is in the house of mourning, but the heart of fools is in the house of mirth. Now, what is mirth? Mirth is amusement. Mirth is laughter, having fun, just fooling around. The Apostle Paul called it folly. Just living your life vicariously, just like doing what feels right at the time and not being conscious of the recourse or the aftermath. I'm just living for the moment. This is what Solomon was saying. It is better to hear the rebuke. It is better to hear the rebuke of the wise than for the man to hear the song of fools. You see, when you can be rebuked by someone who is wise, by Yahweh, and you take that rebuke in wisdom, then according to his law, you're considered wise. But a fool turns a deaf ear to wisdom. And that's the difference between a fool and a wise man. In fact, there was an old saying that, how do you tell a difference between a wise man and a smart man. A smart man learns from his mistakes. A wise man learns from other people's mistakes so he doesn't have to make them. That's the difference. Picking it up at 6. For like the crackling of thorns under a pot, so is the laughter of the fool. It's senseless. Senseless chatter. This also is vanity. Surely oppression destroyeth. Surely oppression destroyeth a wise man's reason, and a bribe debaseth the heart. The end of a thing is better than the beginning. You remember, as I said earlier, when you're going and exiting this miserable place that we've been set down in, that's being ran by the wicked and the wicked has total control of, when you get out of this mess, you can breathe a sigh of relief when all he has done is said and done. The patient in spirit is better than the proud in spirit. Do not hasten in your spirit to be angry, for anger rests in the bosom of the fools. You see, you can talk to millions of guys in prison who acted out of a fit of rage, and if you talk to them, they will tell you right now, if they had it to do all over again, or if their lives could be rewind like a movie, they would not have made the foolish decision that they made that ended them up where they currently find themselves in prison. Do not say, why were the former days better than these? For you do not inquire wisely concerning this. Wisdom is good with an inheritance, and profit to those who see the sun. For wisdom is a defense as money is a defense. You see, wisdom protects in God, just as money guards and protects you from poverty, so it is with wisdom. Wisdom protects you. When you live wisely, it protects you from all of life's pitfalls and calamities. But the excellence of knowledge is that wisdom gives life to those who have it. 13. Consider the work of God, for who can make straight that which he has made crooked? So it is with this current system being ruled by the current people that we find in power. We pray that we can integrate in with them, and we, as Brother Malcolm used to say, we try to appeal to the moral conscience of the people who are ruling over us. But we have to remember that these people were created crooked by nature. And as it says here in 7 and 13, who can make straight what Yahweh has made crooked? You can't do that. In the day of prosperity, be joyful. But in the day of adversity, consider. Surely God has appointed the one as well as the other, for it's all in his hand, so he brings them in his time frame. He brings adversity and prosperity. Yahweh controls it all, so that the man can find out nothing that will come after him. 15. I have seen everything in my days of vanity. There is a just man who perishes. There is a just man who perishes in his righteousness. And there is a wicked man who prolongs life in his wickedness. You know, sometimes we look at things and look at situations. We say, why do the good die young? Oh, they were such a good person. Why did that happen to them? And then you look at a person that's basically been creating hell for years, and they just been doing the same thing, doing evil to people, doing all kind of crooked stuff, and it seems like their life is prolonged, and they seem like nothing ever comes to them. But Yahweh is the chief of it all, and it's all in his hands, and he will bring about justice in his due time. Do not be overly righteous, nor be overly wise. Why should you destroy yourself? Do not be overly wicked, nor be foolish. Why should you die before your time? It is good that you grasp this, and also not remove your hand from the other. For he who fears God will escape them all. For there is not a just man on the earth who does good and does not sin. See, I don't care how perfect you think you are, you have some sin or unrighteousness in your life or being somewhere. I'm going to reread that 7 and 20. For there is not a just man on the earth who does good and does not sin. Remember that. Also, do not take to heart everything people say, lest you hear your servant cursing you. For many times also your own heart has known that even you have cursed others. So this is why we are not so quick to judge others, because the same mote that they have in their eye that they're seeking to overcome, guess what? You have that same mote in your eye that you are trying to overcome. So we're all in the same boat. Without Yahweh, we're nothing, none of us. All this I have proved by wisdom. I said I will be wise, but it was far from me. As for that which is far off and exceedingly deep. You see, as wise as Solomon was, when he got with those pagan women, even he went off with all of his wisdom. And he even asked Jehovah, Yahweh, for wisdom. And he granted it. But in all of his wisdom, he still went off. This is why we have to cling with Yahweh and follow Yahweh Shai's example with everything in us. If we deviate from that, we've invited disaster, chaos, and turmoil into our lives. To search and seek out wisdom and the reason of things. To know the wicked of folly, even the foolishness and madness. And I find more better than death the woman whose heart is snares. I find more bitter than death the woman whose heart is snares and nets. See, a wicked woman and a woman that's not in tune with Yahweh and Yahweh Shai's example, you would be better off getting snared with a net than dealing with her. You ask any of those brothers who have got children by the wrong woman and how their lives ended up. How they end up on child support. And through child support, if it's not paid on time, your license are suspended, which means you can't get to and from the work now. So your job is in jeopardy. It's like an ongoing slippery slope down a hill. The wrong woman can destroy your entire life. The woman whose heart is filled is snares and nets, whose hands are fitters like handcuffs, He who pleases God will escape from her. See, if we stick with Yahweh and follow Yahweh Shai's example, not even she can bind us, but the sinner shall be trapped by her. Here is what I have found, says the preacher. That is Solomon talking. Add one thing to the other and find out the reason, which my soul still seek, but I cannot find. One man among 1,000 I have found, but a woman among all these I have found not. Truly, this only I have found, that God made man upright, but they have sought out many schemes. You see, we were created out of righteousness, but through our fall, we went off. So this is why Yahweh is so important in our lives. And the example of Yahweh Shai is epic. If we do not take his leadership and follow Yahweh Shai's example, your life is already over. So I hope I said food for thought to give you something to think about and something to anchor your life to. You see, Yahweh is our anchor. It's like a ship in the sea. When you dock that ship, you have to anchor it. If not, that ship will wander off and drift off into uncharted territory. So it is with our lives. If we are not following Yahweh's law and the example of Yahweh Shai, we're drifting off into uncharted territory. Shalom.